Hello everybody, this is Ken Faulkner and I'm back with another knife video. I got another new knife in the collection, and it is from TRM. Very exciting. Man, I've become a TRM fanboy. I really have. I mean, there's certain brands, obviously Spyderco is one of them, Jack Wolf knives, and TRM. Although I have less of them than the other ones because they've just been less easy to get, maybe. I don't know. But I'll just kind of go through it real quick and kind of show the progression, right? So I went to Blade Show 2 years ago in Atlanta and specifically was planning to get this knife here. That knife right there. That one, and with this handle and everything, I was thinking about maybe changing it up and going with the burlap, but my girlfriend kind of helped me, you know, it didn't take much, but convinced me that I should just go full on because this was a pretty expensive knife, and I had to specifically plan to do it. Otherwise, I would probably hem and haw my way out of it. I almost backed out a little bit on the material and the handle, but I'm so glad that I got this one. And if you've been around for a while, you probably remember when I got this one. Super excited about it. And if you haven't been around for a while, I'm super happy. I've been getting some comments lately about people that have just found the channel, and that is really cool. I think it's typical with a lot of people that have channels that they feel like they're a small channel. Yeah, I know people with 10,000 subs, and they talk about how they're a small channel. For me, that's humongous, humongous. But yeah, I mean, I'm getting up closer to that 1,000, but I know there's still people that are newer and stuff that are just kind of getting up to like the 200s, and they're very excited about it. I remember those days. It's really interesting over time to adjust to the fact that you do have more subs than you kind of feel like you do. Anyway, so this was quite a while ago, like I said, a couple of years ago, and this is the Atom. And the main reason I went for it is I went for the biggest one that they had that I knew of at the time. And yeah, very very cool. And I remember showing it off to everybody. You go to the after party after the show's over, and sitting around a table, and you're pulling out your favorite knife, and this was the knife of that year. And I didn't have the little O-rings, and I was at the Kaiser party, and was at the table with Lefty. Lefty EDC was at the table, and I was talking about how it's kind of hard to flick it out. It's not that these thumb studs, if you want to call them that. Yeah, I mean they are thumb studs. They're not the easiest, but they are designed, and they have like a groove in them for this O-ring, and TRM actually sells the O-rings. And Lefty let me know that he had some. He didn't have them with him, but just to hit them up, and I did, and he sent them to me, and he sent me a whole bag of them. So that was really really cool, and I picked out these ones to have on there. And ever since then, definitely much easier. Of course, part of it is the action over time, especially with a washer knife. This is not bearing, so it's not. It's never going to be a drop shutty. But the action is definitely improved over time. There's advantages to a washer, and it definitely has that more hydraulic kind of feel to it, but it's super smooth. It's not going to roll like the bearings do and just drop. You can kind of get it with a shake, but yeah, different kind of feel. Very cool knives, very slicey. That's the big appeal. Very thin, very thin. Anyway, I was so happy to have one. I thought, okay, I'm happy. I got a TRM. I wanted one for as long as I can remember, and I got one. And I thought, well, that's probably the only one I ever get in my collection. And then as time went on, other ones came up. So this is the Atom, and then I got the Shadow. And this has the kind of the crossbar lock and this cool handle material. And I just got an opportunity. I wasn't really seeking to get it. I just kind of felt like, and I think this one does have bearings because it definitely shuts, it swings. The axis lock is probably more, whereas this one is a frame lock, or I mean a line lock. Sorry, It's a liner lock. Even though it's titanium, they do a liner on this one. With the Axis lock, you tend to, I don't know. I don't know if I ever remember ever seeing an Axis lock that didn't just drop like that with bearings. I could be wrong. So I got that one, and then I got this other knife, and it's not my typical knife. You know, I kind of like, it's a fixed blade from TRM, for one thing, and it's a big guy. And I have the back out so you can see it. This is the Red Line, and I got an opportunity to get it, and I probably wouldn't have gotten it except it is a TRM, and I'm just so into them, you know. And it's a great knife. It's a great knife, but I am into more of the smaller fixed blades. But this is an awesome knife, and it's just, you know, it's kind of part of the collection, really. Doesn't get used too much, you know. Every once in a while, I use everything. I try to find excuses to use things, and I have used it. You know, you can't really tell by looking at it. I mean, it is 20 CV. I think they're all 20 CV blades. So, I mean, all good steel. I don't know, you may be able to see a little bit of wear on here. The sheath is pretty cool, a leather sheath. You know, not your typical appendix carrier like I like to do, but yeah. So there's that. So now I'll move these guys out of the way, and we'll get to the new one. Okay, and again, this is maybe one that wouldn't have been my first choice if it wasn't a TRM. I think you guys are familiar with this one, the Bulldog, the G10. I haven't looked at possibly maybe changing out the scales. I know that you can buy scales from them. So anyway, there's the TRM stuff, customer appreciation. They are a great company. They have really sent out to smaller channels like mine. They've sent out knives for giveaways and for people to show, and all the information here. And here you go, the Bulldog. Now this one is, I went from the Atom to the Shadow, and the Shadow is definitely full size, probably EDC size more so. I call this a full, and this one like an EDC, but it's, you know, and that's probably about a 3-inch blade. But this one, definitely with that forward finger choil, fit your whole hand. This one is definitely a smaller carry, and a lot of people like the smaller carries. I'm good with smaller carriers. In fact, after that last show at Texas, I kind of came home with some smaller ones, and I was kind of going over how really I'm kind of getting more fond of smaller ones. It's never going to be my favorite, I don't think, but this one, I think this one's on bearings. Yeah, it kind of drops. It's still breaking in. It's fairly new. Yeah, G10, and the handles look really nice. I mean, everything is well made. That's the thing with TRM. I mean, it's USA made and well made. They got that really cool logo on all of their blades, which isn't just like, it's not like etched on or anything. It's actually engraved into the blade. You can feel the difference. And this one is also 20 CV. So it seems like that's kind of a thing. I think they may do some MagnaCut. I don't know. Just because I'm a fanboy doesn't mean I know everything about TRM. But yeah, smaller blade, smaller. Still fits well because you do have that forward finger choil, a little smaller than the finger choil on the Shadow. So it's not really that full finger thing. This one's really easy to put the finger in. This one's a little bit small, so you have to kind of be a little bit careful about it. But still, it cuts really well. It's got that same blade shape, almost like a Spyderco kind of blade shape in a way, and with that tall flat. Not all the way to the top. There is a little bit of flat up here before you get to that primary bevel here. But yeah, really cool knife. A little lighter, so the action on it is a little less swinging out because the blade's so light. And I'm kind of getting used to it, you know. My big hands, it's a little awkward, and I think that's part of the reason why I like the bigger knives. But anyway, the Bulldog, it's a really cool knife. I do love the handle materials on these two, so I'm not looking to change those out. But this one is a G10, and I'm fine with it for now. But it could come a time. I think I've seen some online that have like different types of handles, like a aftermarket type. I think TRM will sell them, so I might take a look at that, and then I'll bring it back and show it to you again after the fact, if I do. I'm not promising anything, guys. But anyway, this is the newest addition to the collection. And I'm super happy that I've got a fourth TRM. When I thought I was one and done, they just keep coming. And opportunities appear before me, and I just can't say no. So let's go into a couple of size comparisons. I was going to only break out the smaller ones because this is that smaller EDC size. This is the Sage 5. And I did do the aftermarket scales on this one. And you can see it's a little bit smaller than the Sage 5. And Sage 5 is definitely one that I consider to be a little bit small for me. Also, other popular ones, we got the Penguin. And I would call that an EDC size. And it's right in that range. It's right there at that size. So yeah, it's not like it's tiny, but for me, there we got the Bug Out, another fairly small one, and then of course another one that gets the size comparison quite often, the Rat 2. I wasn't going to bring out the Rat 1 because it's not even close. So hopefully you have one of these blades, and you can kind of get a feel for the size comparison on that. And I think that we're going to be at the sub 3, right? That's another consideration when you live in certain areas. Yep, that's under 3-inch. And that's a reason why I believe that a lot of knife companies will make a knife this size, because it's just barely under 3. And so it's fitting into that legal size range. So, you got to appreciate, I appreciate, obviously, with the automatic legality in California, that sometimes you need a sub 2-inch knife if it's an auto, like an out the front or something like that, or a gravity knife. But yeah, but for a smaller knife, in my in my scope of what I like, for a smaller knife, this is an excellent knife. So yeah, TRM Bulldog, definitely a fanboy. And enough talking, and thanks for watching, and I will see you on the next one.